steep climbs require a different approach and technique to other climbs. Let's face it, they're harder.
Yeah. But in this video, we're not only going to tell you how to ride up them, we're going to tell you how to fly up them.
Yeah, don't forget, if you enjoy these how-to videos, to let us know by hitting that thumbs up button. You ready?
Let's do this.
Woo! Whew. Ouch. The main issue with these steep climbs is they are incredibly hard to get up. And it might well be that you have to ride as hard as you possibly can just to keep moving. We'll cover all the hacks and the tricks to help with this, but you first need to think about preparing yourself before you even make it to this steep climb. Try and arrive at the climb with as much energy as you can. Now, this might not be possible if you've done a long ride to get there, but a trick is to ease back on the approach. That way you're not arriving at the climb out of breath, and you can draw on all the energy when you're climbing. Before you even get to the climb, you want to think about preparing your gears. Now, what I mean by this is changing into the smallest ring on the front. Leave this too late and you'll find yourself on the steep climb, bogged down in a big gear, and you'll have to stop. So use your momentum, ease off the gears, change into your smallest ring, and then you can think about changing the rear gears as you get onto the climb. It's far easier to adjust the rear gears when you're on the climb than adjusting the front.
Now, most people find that standing up out the saddle is the best way to get the most power out to the pedals and the quickest way to get up a steep climb.
Now, this is true, but it's not sustainable. It's only really sustainable on the really short climbs or the really steep ones when I guess you have no choice.
Yeah, another great way of getting up a climb is actually sitting down. Now, it's not as fast, but it is a lot more sustainable. And to help with this, you want to bring your bum slightly more forward on the bike. It's not the most comfortable, but it's only for a short period.
Now, I don't like bike setup being a factor in a technique video, but when it comes to steep climbs, then there's zero way around it. It's all very well saying, sit on the back of your saddle and just go slower. But if you don't have the low enough gears, then this ain't possible.
Most new road and gravel bikes will come with a really big range of gears, but essentially you want this cog at the back to be as big as possible and the little chainring at the front to be as small as possible. Now, what you can get on your bike depends on what type of gears you already have, but if you go to your local bike shop, they'll be able to advise you if you do think you might benefit from having smaller gears. It can be a little bit costly, but really you need to decide if you really need it.
A super effective technique is the Paperboy technique. All you need to do is start from one side of the road, just quickly turn, head to the other side of the road and back again. This is really important that you do it on a safe road, that's clear, but what it does do is dramatically reduce that gradient, make it far easier to get up what could be an absolute wall. Wow, I mean, tell you what, it's also quite fun.
I'll be honest, I don't love steep climbs, and this isn't just down to my fitness, it's down to my head as well, my attitude. I always worry that I'm going to be so much slower than my friends, and coupled with it being physically very hard, I kind of get in my own head and I've been defeated before I've even started the climb. The issue with this is that it will hurt more. The pain in your legs and your lungs will be worse than it actually is, meaning you're more likely to give up. Now, fixing this isn't easy, but being aware of it is the first and most important step. And if you do catch yourself being negative, don't think about the effort. Just think about ticking points off along the route. And lastly, don't think about anybody else, just think about you.
In all the years of making GCN videos, I have never advocated getting off and pushing your bike. But if you need to, then so what? Now, it is a great challenge, isn't it? To stay on your bike the whole way up the steep climb, maybe even something to focus on. But if it really gets too tough, then get off and push your bike. It really does happen to all of us, even those pros. Ah, come on. Practice makes perfect. Riding steep climbs is going to make you better at them. Not just the techniques, but your fitness too. And remember that steep climbs is actually quite a specific effort that you might not do all of the time.
But remember these tips and tricks. When you arrive at the bottom of a steep climb, try and arrive as fresh as possible. Get in that small chain ring, sit down when possible, get your weight forward and fly to the top with a positive mental attitude.
Yeah, I hope these tips and tricks help. Let us know in the comment section below what you think and hit that thumbs up button if you enjoy steep climbs.